What's up, y'all? I'm officially going live. I didn't even know if I could actually go live or not. Um, but I'm actually at work. I hope this mic is working. I'm assuming that it is. Sorry if the light is bad. It's dark and I don't think my camera does that good in low light. Um, so sorry about that. But I'm actually at work. I hope this mic is picking up my voice good enough. Let's see, like it probably is. I should be fine. But I just wanted to have like make a random video. Plus, I'm kind of bored. I'm at work. I'm working third shift, and I'm trying to kind of just, I don't know, stay active, I guess. Um, so yeah, I just felt like this is my current situation. Uh, Working like third shift, and I'll be at this job for like another couple of days, and then I'll be going somewhere else because this isn't my permanent site. But this is just basically like what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I really don't like working third shift, but this is where I'm at right now. That other site that I was working at, that office place, that place is shutting down, and so I am been kind of bouncing around in different places. Luckily, the pay is still good, but yeah. So this is just where I'm at right now. I work here like Mondays through Thursdays. Um, Basically 12 hours from like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's kind of a dumb job, but it pays well. And basically, I just sit here and watch the door because they're doing some construction work, and they basically like took the turnstile out and they're installing a new one. And like the main entry point, security point of the building is doesn't have any like badge scanners to actually for the employees to scan their way in. So it's basically like a security point, a security entrance point that doesn't have any security because the badge reader turnstile thing is basically being taken out and reinstalled. They're putting a new one, like a newer, more advanced one in, but that's taking time. So basically, until they get done installing that, they needed somebody to basically watch the back entrance, which has a badge reader that is still working, but they needed somebody to basically just watch that entry point and make sure that everybody is scanning the badge reader back here and making sure that nobody is basically going in without scanning their badge. That's basically all I'm doing here. It's kind of gay, but again, it pays well. I'm getting more hours in my last job, but it is temporary. So I'm basically just working at this position until I get placed at a permanent site. Um, so hence that's what I'm doing here. Basically, that's my whole point that I'm working here. I was working at the mall, but that job, that site, evidently ended, and so yeah, I'm basically just here now. Um, Sorry. Um, Again, it's just something that I got like one viewer. I wonder who that is. Like I never get on live. Like I had one viewer. Oh, I had one viewer. Oh well. I felt special for a second. Anyway, I don't even make these videos. I don't even make these videos for like I don't know, like to make the channel do anything. I rarely ever get on live because I just don't. And honestly, like I just recently found out that I could, because I tried to get on live one time and it was like, you have to have a certain amount of viewers and subscribers to get online. I'm just like, why? Like, why does it matter? Like, what's with all these like, you know, requirements to get online? Like, you should be able just to get. It shouldn't be all about numbers all the time. Like, goddamn, like it's not that serious. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm getting some like um my bad. So yeah, I'm back. But so that's basically pretty much it. I forget what I was even saying, but I had a topic actually that I did want to talk about. Um, Nothing too crazy, but hold on one second. All right, so yeah, like I did have a topic. Um, it's kind of a weird topic, but I know that it's a very common topic. And I made a video earlier talking about. So here's the thing: I made a motorcycle vlog earlier while I was riding my motorcycle using this Bluetooth microphone. But when I was riding, I mistakenly put my camera, my 360 camera. I had it in 8K, in 8K 360 mode instead of 5K. And so I think it was like, instead of like 30 frames per second, it was using, I want to say like 50 or 60 frames per second. So apparently, whenever you have a higher frame rate, like a higher, I guess like bit rate or whatever they call it, you cannot, you're not allowed to, or you're not able to edit the footage from the actual phone or the actual camera. You have to export it first from your phone to a laptop or like a desktop computer. Only at like the higher quality, like bit rate or frame per second, whatever they call it. But I can do it in 5K. Like I changed the settings back, but when you start getting into like 8K and all that other shit and 50 frames per second and stuff like that, whenever you go in to go basically share it to like Facebook or to like whenever you go to basically edit the footage to export it to your phone and then share it back on Facebook or YouTube, it won't allow you to do that without first sending it to your computer, and then it'll compress the files and then make it to where you can actually share them to like like YouTube and to like Facebook and Live and stuff like that. But you can do it straight from the actual phone and from the actual camera device itself when it's in like 5K or 4K. You just can't do it when it's like 8K and up. So I didn't know that. So basically, the entire video that I made today about this exact same topic about dating and my opinion on how I see dating for men and women, and just the double standards that I see, that I feel like I personally experienced myself. I talked about it on the way to the Greenville Tech South Carolina Works place. It was basically a place that I went to today Um, just trying to basically give myself some extra options um, that would allow me to kind of just have just other options. I was just trying to give myself other options. So my uncle, he drives, um, he drives trucks, tractor trailer trucks. My father, he's basically been a truck driver his entire life before he lost his vision. So my uncle was telling me about, I know you want to make more money. I know you want to travel and stuff like that. You can make money a lot quicker, driving trucks. So, I went down there to see about, getting my CDL class or get my CDL because that's the same place that he got his CDL from. And they actually paid for him to get a CDL class or get a CDL certification. So, and now he owns his own trucking business and he drives trucks and he's trying to get like his own fleet so that he can basically have people driving for him. So, my thing is, I want to travel and, do the whole RV nomad thing, but I really need to get a large sum of money up. I mean, I'm saving money right now, but I'm trying to make it happen a little bit quicker than what it's going to take as of right now. Because, like, as of right now, to get everything paid off and to buy the things cash that I want to buy, it's going to take roughly 2.5 more to 3 years. That's basically paying off my current RV, paying it off cash, buying a heavy duty truck like an F-250 or bigger to pull my RV, and then to basically get a bigger RV. That's going to be about 2.5 to 3 more years of saving because I don't want to travel and have a bunch of debts. I want to basically pay off all my stuff, buy my truck cash, and basically buy my next RV cash. I know that sounds kind of crazy to some people, but to live that lifestyle, I don't really want to have a whole lot of debt or have a whole bunch of like high payments. So that was the reason why I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it on my terms and do it my way. So, saving right now, like I said, I'm saving. My money is growing, but it's just going to take more time. And if I have to wait a lot of time, I would rather have more money saved up than like just enough to like, do that stuff. I'd rather have all that stuff accomplished and then have even like have like a little nest egg to kind of, put towards other stuff like investments or just have extra cash in case whatever happens. So that's what I'm looking into. That's what I was doing today. And like I said, that's where I was driving today on my motorcycle. And that's what I basically was making a video. That's what I was making a video that's when I was making the video today on my way to that location. So like I said, I made a whole video talking about, like dating and just how it is in this modern atmosphere, this modern climate. And I'll just kind of briefly get into it, but it was basically talking about how, a lot of people are told that they should, um, just kind of focus on themselves and, not worry about dating. It's kind of hard to like re-sum this stuff all up because I had gotten all my thoughts out earlier and it's really difficult for me to like remember everything I said in the way that I said it. Because you make a video, sometimes you kind of just get in like that flow state, then like your thoughts are kind of just flowing, and kind of having to remember like all my points that I was making earlier. It's kind of hard, but I'm going to try and do my best. I'll try. I just can't remember like all of the points that I had made earlier because it was just it was just a lot. But I'm going to try to just kind of paraphrase it the best that I can. I'm going to actually come over here for a second. Like, you might be able to see me, you might not, you probably can't. But basically, earlier today, while I was riding to SC Works, it's basically like a career center. I was just talking about how, so many people, and this doesn't just apply to men, but since I am a male, I will refer to males specifically, but I'm not talking about just men because women are going through this too. But specifically men, there's like an epidemic of like men that are just like they want to date, but they just don't see the point because a lot of men nowadays feel like dating is a waste of time. They feel like, you know, um, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. They feel like women of today's age are not very trustworthy, or um, they really can't be trusted. And it's not just that men don't trust women. It's not just that, but it's like there's like this new narrative in general of dating where people are basically saying things like, if you're not in this perfect position in life, in your finances and stuff like that, like you shouldn't even be even worried about dating, you know like grown adults. Like, if and we all know that in today's climate, um you know a well-paying job in 2000, I don't know, 2000 like 10 today is considered mediocre or like not good enough. So what was considered success back in 2010, in 2025 is not considered successful. Um, income wise, um, salary is just, so part of the problem, in my opinion, is the goalpost is always being moved. What was once good enough or seen as, stability, pay wise, at one point in time, now is seen as, oh, well, that's not enough, or, well, you can't support a family on that income. Well, back in the year 1999 or the year 2000, it was actually considered good money, you know. Um, and you can go back even farther than that, like back to when, our parents were working and taking care of us. Like back then, an income back then, what they were making back then, they were at least able to provide for an entire family. But nowadays, what they made back then is not even enough for one person. So it's like this thing where like the goalpost is constantly being moved. Like the narrative of what is enough, what is considered to be stable or successful, like financial wise, is always being moved. Like you could do all these things and build businesses and change your career and start a business, and you might end up making more money compared to what you were making. But a year or 2 years from now, the inflation might go up so much that what you were making or what you're now making is still like not enough, because the inflation again moved the goalposts to where that amount of increase in money that you're making now is not even worth what it would have been before the inflation. Or you get put in a different tax bracket, and you end up paying more money out and getting less, and all that plus inflation combined. So, and people are going to say, oh, well, you're just making excuses and all this other shit. That's what they always say. But those are facts. Like, those are facts. So, getting back to my point, like, I was talking about how a lot of people I just look at different kinds of videos and stuff like that where there's like this advice being given to people saying that you shouldn't date, you shouldn't be trying to have any kind of romantic relationships unless you're just completely got your whole life figured out, and like whatever the fuck that's even supposed to mean, until you're at like until like you arrive at some place of success. And and I'm just like, I feel like that's part of the problem with there's a lot of mental illness today, is because we're focusing so much on trying to reach this level of financial success. And part of the problem is that goalpost is constantly being moved to, okay, for example, like there's so many people that went to school for a bunch of years and can't find jobs. There's so many people that went and got a degree and they can't find jobs for what they went to school for, or they went to school, they found a job, but by the time they got out of school, what that degree was worth income wise, it's nowhere near worth what it was when they kind of started in their schooling. In other words, like the cost of living has gone up so high that the increase in pay that they thought was going to make a huge difference in their quality of life, it may have made a somewhat of a difference, but the cost of living has gone up so much due to inflation and interest rates and stuff like that. It's nowhere near worth what they originally had hoped that it would be. Not only that, but also along with basically like the fact that, again, they get put into a higher tax bracket and they're making more money now, but now they have to pay more in taxes. So like you're getting a pay cut like twice, at least twice. So it's like, a lot of people, they went and did all these, and I'm not saying that, there aren't some benefits and it's not better than what it was, but there's so many people that thought that their quality of life was going to be so much better once they went to school for certain things. And, it may be slightly better had they not gone at all. But I listen to, I pay attention to what people are saying online in real life. And I've just heard so many people that are still struggling, that are barely making it, that are like living paycheck to paycheck. And they went to school for like, 4, 5, 6 years and more. And I'm like, bro, I didn't do any of that. And like, I'm doing okay. I'm working more than what I want to, but like, I'm at least like maintaining, and able to save a little bit, I'm not like balling or anything like that, but I'm able to save a little bit, and I didn't go to school and put myself in like, thousands and thousands of dollars debt. So, like I said, we're told to just strictly focus on, financial stability, which is important. But I feel like most people today are completely neglecting like other areas of their life, like, for example, like romance and, other stuff like recreation, because again, like there's this big, narrative that I'm hearing that young people, even older people, are told that they shouldn't even worry about dating until, again, they reach this place of, success. And it's like, well, when you say success, like, what are you talking about? Like, are you talking about like a certain number of amount of money? a certain kind of lifestyle. Like, we're all aiming towards something and trying to reach this place, but we don't even actually know what that personally looks like for us. But we're all told that we should be doing that, and we shouldn't basically live until we reach this point in life where, we arrive at this place. And I'm just like, well, what does that even mean? Like, what amount of money, what amount of success do I need to reach to basically be able to date now? And I've got so many different levels of this talking point, because one of my points that I was talking about in the video was, um, you know, so one of my points was, if somebody is only wanting to date you or be with you romantically only after you reach a certain amount of success or financial success or status in your life, that person, first of all, that person does not like you. That person does not like you. They're not into you. They're only dealing with you for strictly the benefits of what your income or financial stability can give them. If you're with somebody that's saying that you can't, I don't want to be with you unless you have this much money or this much material things or this kind of lifestyle, they don't like you. Like, we as men are taught that we're conditioned to believe that, we don't deserve a relationship, to be with a woman, a beautiful woman, or just a woman in general, unless we have our whole lives like figured out, and we have it all figured out. We're super successful. We just got it going on. Basically, just have everything on a checklist, like checked off as a man. We have the perfect physique. We have the perfect health. We have the perfect hairline. We have the perfect face. We're attractive. We're tall. We have lots of money. We have fancy cars. We have good credit. Basically, we're conditioned that unless we have it all figured out, we have our shit completely together, career wise, owning some kind of business. Unless we have all those things, we don't deserve relationship. We don't deserve love. We don't deserve romance. We don't deserve sex. We don't deserve any of those things. We're told that we have to earn it, and that a woman should feel like, we can provide financial security. And if we can't provide a level of financial security, then we shouldn't be dating. And we don't deserve to date and to experience romance and love and stuff like that. Because, women have to feel like, we can be providers for them. And I'm like, I don't buy that anymore. I'm sorry, I don't buy that, and that's not what I've witnessed in life and in the world. Again, we as men, we're conditioned to believe that unless we provide and we have this whole life thing figured out financially and in every other way, that we as men are not deserving of, love or dating or relationships. Even if we're already working one or two jobs, even if we already have a vehicle, unless we have reached like our highest potential, we are told and conditioned to believe that we don't deserve any of those things. And I think, again, that's part of the problem, that there's a severe imbalance of, um, of life and of ambition and just living and like romance and just being in a moment and enjoying the present moment, what we have right now. We're all trying to reach some future, and we're telling ourselves that we don't deserve, like we're basically being convinced that we're not enough right now. We're not enough unless we reach a certain level of success and status in life as a man, and that's what we're told. And it's to me, it's for me personally, I just feel like that's a lie. I feel like most people, men and women too, to a certain extent, we're severely imbalanced, and we're focusing way too much on just the financial aspect of life and completely neglecting um, our other needs and desires of a human being. And we're being convinced that we don't deserve any of these things unless we reach the highest potential possible of, earning income and, potential, whatever that is for you as a person, that you don't deserve any of these things in life, love, relationships, romance, just basic things, and it's like you can never work hard enough. And I think that most people, they're just desperately trying to prove that they're enough with trying to reach some level of income or some, level of success with starting a business, um, starting a new job, or just some type of possession that they want to acquire. And I'm just here to say I just think that's all a lie. Um, that these things do not make you enough. Um, getting starting a successful business or getting a higher paying job does not make you any more enough than what you already were. When you're born into this life, into this world, you are already enough. But somehow, somewhere along the way, we have convinced ourselves that doing these things, that these pursuits that we have, it's nice. It's nice to see what your potential is. It's nice to see what's possible if you try something or do something. But basically, making your worth as a man or human being or woman is extremely detrimental to your spirit and to your soul. Like, a lot of us are determining our value towards the opposite sex or just as a human being on whether we accomplish a certain goal or reach certain levels of quality of life. If we don't accomplish certain things, we're convinced that we don't deserve them and we're not worthy of them, and we're almost like punishing ourselves. But I'm just here to say I don't buy into any of that anymore. I don't think any of that has anything to do with you deserving, love or, relationships. I'm just like breaking that entire program. Now, I'm not saying that you should stay stagnant and, you shouldn't try to just expand your potential or, possibilities, but I don't think that it should be a thing where if I don't accomplish this thing or whatever it is, that I'm not worthy. Like, so many of us are basing our worthiness on if we accomplish certain things. Like I said, it could be just a business, it could be, making more money, acquiring certain, material things in this world, just reaching a certain level of lifestyle. This world is basically teaching everybody and conditioning everybody that unless we reach a certain lifestyle, that we are not deserving of so many things. Like I said, and one of the biggest things that a lot of men today face is they're conditioned and made to feel like, they don't deserve the basic human experience, and that is just being content with being here, being alive, sharing your life with somebody, having a relationship, maybe starting a family. Like, that's becoming more and more rare because nobody cherishes those things anymore. Everything is so goddamn transactional now. There's nothing real about relationships. There's nothing real about man and woman interaction. Everything is just, well, what can you do? How can you improve my life? What can you do for me? There's no real soul spirit connection anymore. And so that's why, I have such a bad taste in my life, in my mouth right now. Figuratively speaking, I have a bad taste in my mouth for just dating, because it's like nothing feels real. Nothing feels like genuine when it comes to dating anymore. You really can't trust people. People just are strictly with you for, okay, well, how do you look? Okay, well, what can you do for me? What kind of lifestyle can you provide for me? Like, everybody feels like they deserve the very best that life has to offer, because everybody else online apparently has that, or is making it seem like that, right? So relationships have been like a real genuine relationships, they don't exist anymore. They're almost extinct, because everybody is basically, they have this false idea of reality now, pretty much. And it's not real, it's not true. That's just the reality of it. That's definitely what I've seen. And so everybody has these false expectations of what it even means to be in a relationship. Um, and the whole idea of loyalty to one person is literally doesn't even exist anymore. Um, I dated somebody, and they literally say, well, everybody cheats. Everybody cheats. And I say, well, I don't believe in that. But this is the idea of the modern world. There's no honor in anything. People think that dating somebody and actually being loyal to that person is controlling and manipulative, and that if you have standards and how you expect to be treated, that, oh, you're being controlling, or you're being insecure. It's kind of like how the Bible said that people would be in certain times of life, how people will be saying that wrong is right and that right is wrong, and that everything will be kind of flipped and turned upside down, to where there's no real moral compass to society anymore. Like, nobody has any sense of accountability anymore. Everybody is just like whatever goes. And this is why, personally, I'm terrified of dating, because I know that the modern woman, they literally have no sense of accountability. Like, none. There's no sense of accountability, and there's no sense of morality. And that's why, as much as I want to date, I understand that the world that we live in it's changed very quickly. And the modern woman, just, again, I'm not saying every woman, but I understand that most women, they have zero morals when it comes to dating. Like, they feel like cheating is okay as long as nobody knows. I mean, I've seen too much. I've seen way too much. I know too much. I've lived 36 years, so I've experienced certain things. Just going online, all you see is, women kind of just bent over, twerking, showing cheeks. And, it just kind of hit me like I'm just scrolling through my news feed, and that's all I see. Everything is sexualized. women put themselves out there like that, like they literally put themselves out there kind of as like sexual objects, and then they get surprised when men look at them like that. You know, when you see nothing but like women like bent over, you know, exposing themselves in a sexual way, and they get offended when men look at them like that. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Some of these same women are talking about when they do go on dates, they want men to treat them with respect and, you know, potentially marry them. And they want this respectful treatment as a woman, open up the door and pay for the food. But you're putting yourself out there like you're for everybody. And to them, they're like, oh, well, you know, it's my body. I'm grown. I can do what I want. But it's like, how do you expect a man to do all these manly, masculine things when you're presenting yourself to the world? Like, I as a man, cannot take a woman, I cannot respect a woman that I see is exposing herself sexually to everybody. Like, if I see you online, in all your pictures, you bent over, got your cheeks out, you just busting it wide open on the camera. You're twerking, you know, just leaving nothing to the imagination. Like, I'm not saying it don't look good to a certain extent, but as a man, I'm just like thinking like, as a woman, relationship wise, like I know like you have nothing that you can do for me. Like you literally are presenting yourself as a sexual object. And I know, like, if I'm thinking that, I know that all the other guys are thinking that. But these same women, they're expecting men to, like, do all these manly, masculine things, you know, for a respectable woman. And I'm just like, why would I do that for somebody that's presenting themselves as, like, a sex object? I mean, I'm sorry, there's no nice way to say it, but like a sex object. You know, you're presenting yourself like that, but I'm supposed to hold you up to this high regard and see you as like something that I'm supposed to like respect and invest in financially and do all these nice manly things for you. But like you're putting yourself out there, and this is all you see. This is all you see. And then if you're a man and you say these things, oh, you're called old fashioned, or you're made to feel like, oh, you're possessive or like controlling or whatever. And it's like, no, I don't agree with someone that I'm considering seriously in a relationship or a partnership that's presenting themselves like that online for everybody to see. How can I take you serious? Because I already know what other guys are thinking. And if they're thinking that, and I know that you know that they're thinking that, and I know that you know what you're doing, then I have to assume that you're doing it on purpose. And if you're doing it on purpose, you get what I'm saying? Like, you see how that works? So I don't know. I don't really know what, you know, most women are trying to accomplish. But like I said, I see it all the time. And it's such a turn off, man. Even like when they're pretty or attractive, like when I see women doing that, like, yeah, there's that man part of me that likes what he sees. There's the other part that's just like, I would never in a million years, like, even attempt to take someone like that serious or even date them. Like, I would stay far away from them, you know, seriously. And there's a lot of pretty women out there that have really cute faces and, you know, nice bodies, but it's just like, as soon as and the thing about it is women really feel like men, that's what men want. A certain kind of man wants that. Now, I'm not saying like, yeah, my male side wants that to a certain degree, but when I say want, when I say want, I mean like as far as like just taking somebody serious and having a serious relationship with, this is like, no, like never in a million years. It's going to always be like that male primal side of you that's just like, yeah, I would do some things, but it's just like outside of that, it's just like no. And even with that, it's like a level of I don't even like to even say that I would even want to, you know, partake in even that, because it's just like I know that the way that kind of female is moving, I know what comes with that, and I don't even want to necessarily even deal with her in that way, even though like from like a purely like nature standpoint, I might subconsciously want to, but like I know that even that comes with a lot of negative things, you know. So yeah, no. No. That's a no for me. Yeah, man, I just and it's just it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Check my battery real quick. Hold on. All right. So yeah, man, I'm just talking. I'm just getting into this topic. Like I said though, so many men are told that they need to just completely just focus on, their career and just completely just don't worry about dating. And I'm like, I don't think that's good advice. Like, I get what they're trying to say, but this whole idea of completely just isolating yourself and really not having any type of romantic experiences in your life until you reach this place of success and status, I don't think that's good advice either, because while taking some time to yourself and figuring things out can be good, you take too much time and be in isolation for too long, I think that can also create mental illness, mental instability, um, and it can even cause like social problems. You can have problems socializing. Like if you're not socializing, having some level of human interaction romantically to some extent, and you're not using those skills, like you forget how to even have normal social interactions. If you're not dating or trying to date, you forget how to talk to women. You forget how to talk to them. You forget how to deal with them because you're not doing it. Just this idea of you shouldn't date or talk to women until you have your whole life figured out. I think that's horrible advice. And, again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. See, I think the biggest thing is everything should be balanced. See, I understand the idea of not completely allowing a relationship or a woman or your partner to take up too much, space in your life. That I agree with. You shouldn't be making your entire life all about somebody. You should be with somebody that understands that, hey, I got time set aside for us. I got time set aside for date night, handling business related stuff, finances, making money. And then there's our time that we have set aside for us. But to just, again, to completely neglect your need for, romance and stuff. See, the problem is most people or most men, they're dealing with little girls, children. And these women, they don't understand that everything has a time and a place. There's a time and place for me to spend time with you, to go out on dates, for date night, to whatever, vacations, whatever. And then there's a time and place for, where I got to get to this money, I got to get to this bag. And so the issue is most women, I hate to say it, or a lot of them nowadays are very selfish and feel like if a man is dating them, all of their time and energy and effort should be spent making them happy. keeping them happy, you know, or if they're not doing that, well, I'm going to find somebody else. And so you get in this situation where nowadays men are feeling like if they don't just invest everything and all that they have into this woman to keep this woman, she's going to leave them for somebody else that will. And this is basically how things work in today's dating world. You know, there's no flexibility, there's no reciprocation, there's no patience, there's no, you know, give in a relationship. It's all just transactional. Oh, if you dating me, all these other people want to be with me, so you better give me everything, all of it now. And if you can't, then somebody else will. And so like there's this pressure on men because it's like this thing where the relationships of today, they don't have any real spirit soul connection. It's all just status, it's all just ego driven, and it's all just transactional. It's all just for show. It's all just for show. Show status, it's an ego trip, you know. There's no real genuine authentic relationships when it comes to romantic partnerships anymore. There's no real soul spirit connection. It's all just ego driven. It's all just ego, it's all just pride, it's all just competition. And this is why I'm losing the desire to even want to connect romantically in a relationship anymore, because it's just fake. It's nothing real about it. It doesn't exist. It's all just strictly transactional and status based. And again, the whole narrative is, you know, you should just, you know, you should be happy by yourself. You know, if you're not happy by yourself, then you can't be happy with somebody else. Or they'll say something like, oh well, you think that getting in that relationship is going to, you know, make you happy, or you think that your only source of happiness is getting into a relationship. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Just because somebody is lacking romance in their life, they're not saying that that is where they are. That's not saying that that's where they expect to get their only sense of happiness in life from, is from that relationship or from that person. That's not what they're saying. Just because you desire or feel the need for a romantic connection or relationships in your life, that doesn't mean that you're expecting that relationship to give you all the happiness and joy in life from that one source. That's not what they're saying. But people are saying that if you want or desire love or relationship or romantic intimacy, that's the same as basically saying that, oh well, I'm expecting this person to, you know, make me feel loved, and you know, this is where I expect to get my sources of happiness from. I'm like, no, there's a difference between missing a certain aspect of life and depending on all of your sources of happiness and contentment from a relationship or a person. Like you can be happy in other areas of life and feel like there's a void when it comes to the romantic parts of life. You can be, you know, doing all that. You can be, you know, crushing it financially or on the way to crushing it. You can be, you know, have your career going. You can be starting businesses and all these things. But when it comes to that romantic side of life and what that experience can bring to you, what that dimension of experience can bring to your life, that can be missing, and that can cause a certain part of you to feel sad or depressed or lacking in, you know, just that experience in your life, you know. And that doesn't mean that you're not whole. It just means that there's other aspects of life that you want to experience, and you're just not. And that doesn't mean that you're making your happiness completely dependent on a relationship or a partner. Like, that's not what that means. It just means that you're a fucking human being that that wants and sometimes needs those things. And it's very human to want and need those things. And we're conditioned to feel like, oh well, you should know how to be whole by yourself. It's like, yeah, you should also know when it's time to open up yourself up to certain experiences like romantic partnerships and relationships. Like, we need to stop telling people that they just need to just get used to, you know, being alone and just know how to be happy. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You need to go out. You need to date. You need to find a nice woman or man. You need to date. You need to go on dates or a date or find a person that you like, that likes you for you. Have dates, go on vacations, get laid, have sex. I'm sorry, like, I don't know how to say it in like a more like ungraphic way. Like, we telling people to just always be happy alone, or if you can't be happy by yourself, then you won't be happy with somebody. I think it's horrible advice. That can be true sometimes, but like I said, too much isolation, being alone by yourself too much, I feel like can sometimes be the reason why you are unhappy. Because my thing is, if you've been alone for long periods of time and you've had time to think about stuff, how much goddamn alone time do you need to find yourself, or you know, you know, reach some level of awakening where you know yourself? I get there's a time and place for that, but you should not be spending your entire life doing that. And some of the reason why some people are so unhappy because they've been doing too much. They've been doing too much isolation. They've been having too much time alone. They've been having too much time not having romantic connections, not having romantic experiences, and they become extremely unbalanced with it. Just like anything good done too much or to an extreme can become harmful. Well, that's the same concept and principle. If you isolate yourself, if you spend time alone too much, that can become mentally harmful to you. Like, yes, having some time or a period of time where you just simply focus on being by yourself and focusing on just being single and what whatever, there's a time frame where that can be good, where you just focus on yourself and what you want and what you're trying to work on and work towards. But then if you become unbalanced with that, that can become a very bad thing for your life, for your quality of life, for your mental condition, for your social skills, for your ability to even connect with people, or just romantic relationships as well. If you're by yourself too much, again, I feel like it's more of a balance thing. I think the problem is we just need to know how to set aside and put things in the right place. It's not about completely dedicating 50% of your life to becoming financially super successful and just swearing off dating or trying to have kids or start a family until like you're super successful. I know. I think it's just simply about having a balanced view on those things, not like neglecting one side of life. Oh, not neglecting your your romantic life, because I'm sorry, romantic, especially if you're older, if you're neglecting that part of your life, like, it's not going to turn out good for you. You're going to be angry, you're going to be bitter, you're going to be, socially just not where you should be. And there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of guys that are just kind of frustrated and angry because they've done a lot of the right things in their life. You know, they working hard, but they still, according to society, they're not like ballers, they're not like super wealthy. So according to like the modern narrative, they haven't reached this, you know, pinnacle or this highest height of success and status. And you know, apparently that's what men today are told that they have to be even deserving of a basic relationship or romantic experience. No longer can you just be a man that works a regular 9 to 5 or 2 jobs. No, you have to be rich and own multiple businesses, or you're seen as, you know, mediocre, or in other words, you're not enough unless you're trying to be this big, you know, show of like a successful man. And I think again that is breeding an epidemic of just mental illness, because again, like, for whatever reason, being a man in today's society is just seen as, you know, you just have to have it all to be enough. And this is why there's no true genuine connection anymore. And again, you know, you're told that if you reach the point where you know, you haven't been dating, and you know, you haven't been, you know, having, you know, romantic experiences, sexual experiences, and you kind of reach this point of, you know, just being frustrated, or just, you know, being bitter, even like you're made to feel guilty, you're made to feel like there's something you're doing wrong, or you know, you have bad energy, and you know, like you're giving off being needy. But it's just like, well, I mean, think about it. If you haven't been having romantic experiences for a long period of time, and you've been trying to improve yourself according to society and the internet, because you have to become this big deal and do all these things on a basic level to be enough as a man in today's society, and you spend all this time trying to become enough, and you're still told that it's not enough, and you've been single for all this time, it could be a man or a woman, and you just kind of desire and want that level of, you know, relationship, but you're told that for whatever reason, you know, it's not enough. Wouldn't you be kind of upset and angry? Wouldn't you be kind of frustrated and even bitter? I mean, you're human. You're human, and you haven't been experiencing these things that every human wants and needs to experience as an adult, as a grown man or woman. But for whatever reason, you're told that, oh, well, you should just be happy by yourself, and you shouldn't need or want anybody. And you know, if you do need somebody, you're giving off needy energy, and that's why you can't. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, I don't care how happy you are in your life or how good things are going for you. At some point, you're gonna want and even need a certain level of romantic experience in your adult life. You know, we're all grown. We all know that we have certain, you know, urges sometimes. I can't really say it in like a not graphic way. I mean, it's just the truth. I'm going to be real here. We all have wants, needs, and desires sometimes, and it's very normal. It's very normal to want and even need certain things in life. And why are we telling people that, well, you shouldn't need somebody? Like, no. At some point, we do need certain things in life. We do need certain interactions in life. I'm not here to bullshit people. I'm here to be as real and authentic as I fucking want to be, you know? And I'm speaking out for the side of people that don't really get to express these things in that way. No, you need certain things in your life. And anybody that's saying that, you know, you should be in a place where you don't need nobody, that's bullshit. Because if that were true, then nobody would ever, after people got to that point of not needing anybody, they would never go on dates. They would never get married. They would never have kids. They would never have any kind of romantic sexual experience ever. If it was all about reaching the state of not needing someone to give you a certain level of happiness or fulfillment. If that were true, there should be nobody dating. There should be nobody, having sex. There should be nobody just at the very basic level having interactions outside of platonic relationships. But you don't see that. You don't see that. That's not what you see. You see people constantly having romantic relationships and interactions. But now it's become so damn transactional and so superficial, swipe, 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 that if there's no real connection anymore, it's all just based off of bullshit, off of show, off of stuff that isn't even real on like a spiritual and energetic level. It's all bullshit, it's all this ego thing, I wonder if my friends will like this guy if I date him. I wonder if my friends will like my girlfriend. I wonder if my homeboys will think if I date this chick, oh man, her ass ain't fat. Oh, if I date this guy, he's not tall, so I can't date him. Or he's not rich, so I can't date him. Everybody's dating for the wrong reasons now. Everybody's dating for like reasons that have nothing to do with what it really means to even connect with somebody. It has nothing to do with that anymore. And that's why nobody stays together anymore. That's why nobody actually can truly connect. That's why everyone's looking for something and rejecting it at the same time, because what they're looking for, they're literally pushing away at the same time. So, we're told that as men, if we can't give a woman everything, if we haven't reached the highest level of success as a man, that women are programmed to not want us. But that's not true, because you don't see that either. You don't see that. We're told that, but you don't see that. And I've seen many examples of that. We're told that to deserve a woman, or for a woman to think that we're worthy, we're programmed to think that we have to have the best job, the best car, make the most money. Where I see many examples of women that, have kids with guys that some don't even have jobs. Some don't even have cars. Some, they're literally paying for some men to some women literally will sponsor a man and take care of a man if they think that they are attractive enough. So this whole idea that women are choosing men strictly off of criteria like their ability, their stability in life, their status in life, their ability to provide and protect is that is a lie. Now, can that be true? Yes. But is it always true? No, it's not. There's so many examples where men or women will choose multiple men that can do nothing for them financially, that can do nothing for them security wise, as far as like, financially. I just said that, but yeah, they can offer them nothing financially. They don't have a home, they don't have a job, they have a criminal background. All they can really do is lay good pipe. And sadly, that's all that some women care about. But we're told as men that no, we have to check all these check marks off on provider, security, finances, securities, stability, finances, and stuff like that. But we know for a fact that if a woman thinks that a man is attractive, she'll completely just look past all of that stuff and have a child. But there's so many men out here that feel like the reason that they can't get a relationship is because they just don't have enough money. It's like, no, she just doesn't think you're hot. That's what it is. Because there's another guy that doesn't have a job, doesn't have a car, doesn't have anything. She'll literally take this guy off the street, move him into her house, feed him, let him stay there for free, give him the cat, give him pussy, and have his child, and he has literally done nothing for her. You see it every day. So this, I'm just here to call out the bullshit, because men need to stop feeling like they need to do so much to be deserving of basic things. It's just not true. A woman will literally smash a dude behind a restaurant building on the first interaction or date if she thinks that he's attractive enough. A woman will literally sleep with a man without knowing him if she thinks that he's attractive. It has nothing to do with, you know, your level of stability in life. It has nothing to do with, you know, the car you drive. Can those things make a difference? Yes. But is that strictly what women go by? Fuck no. Fuck no. That's a fact. One example, this one chick here I talked to a couple times. She told me strictly to my face, she was like, yeah, I was talking to this guy, and on a second date, like, I fucked him. She was like, I just thought he was cute. And then, like, she was trying to basically make it seem like, you know, he was so in love with her, and he couldn't, he couldn't let her go, and like he was just so into her. So I guess she was trying to, like, flex while she was here, and asked me, like, why would he do this and why would he do that? And I gave her my opinion. To make a long story short, she ended up calling the guy while she was out here with me one day on break, trying to flex, trying to make it seem like this guy was super thirsty over her and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I listened in, and she put the guy on speakerphone, and the guy answered the phone, and all you hear is, bitch, what the fuck do you want? And she's like, you want to talk to me? And the dude is just like, bitch, what the fuck do you want? And I'm just sitting here listening, like, kind of like wanting to laugh almost. And he was like, bitch, if you don't get the fuck off my phone, I don't want to talk to you, dumbass. And then she said something else, and she tried to basically, like, insult him and make it seem like he was, like, really wanting her and needing her attention. But make a long story short, he was calling her bitch and was like, bitch, I don't even want you like that. Like, and it was almost like the more he tried to, like, push her off and, like, be like, if you don't go on somewhere, like, the more she was, like, into him, the more she was, like, liking this dude. I'm just like, that right there was just one example of how what women say is nothing like the reality of what they go after and what they are attracted to. Because this dude called her out of her name so many times and was basically like, listen, I fucked you that one time. It was nothing. It really ain't that deep. I don't like you. You were just a piece of ass. And the more he tried to tell her that, the more she was like, kind of losing her mind over this guy, So, I just seen that. And I mean, I already knew that, but that was just like one example of, like, and then even like after, like, she, like, ended the call, she was, like, still, like, talking about, like, she came in, like, talking about this dude like 3 times in a row, and, like, she just met dude, like, she just, what I'm saying, like, she just met dude, they fucked, like, the second interaction they had, the second date they had, they fucked, and, like, she was just, what I'm saying, kind of like obsessing over him, and she's like asking my advice, and I'm just like, chick, I done already told you. Like, the nigga, he probably don't like you like that. He probably is just pretty much just saying what he's saying, and kind of because he got other bitches he's fucking. And I was like, you're basically probably just one of the many bitches he's fucking. That's why he's acting the way he's acting. Like, he don't care. He's just fucking you just to pass time, basically. I told her that in a very nice way. I'm like, yeah. She's like, why is he acting like he don't care? I'm like, because he don't care. He doesn't care. You're literally just I didn't know how to say it in a nice way. I was like, you're literally just somebody that he's probably fucking like multiple other chicks. And I was like, yeah, you're just one of them. Um, so, you know, I was telling her that in a very nice way, but the more I tried to tell her, the more she just was like, I would tell her because she asked me like, why would he act like he don't care? And I'm like, because he doesn't care. I was like, because he's probably fucking other chicks. He's sleeping with other women, and you're just one that he happened to sleep with. And she was like, well, okay, but why is he acting like he don't care? I'm like, I just told you, because he doesn't care. He's fucking other females. And so anyway, making a long story short, it was just like she just kept going crazy over this guy and kept trying to get answers out of me. I'm like, as a man, if I'm acting like I don't care if a woman deals with other men, it's because I know that I don't care if she deals with other men. It's very simple. Like if a guy is acting like he don't care, like I've had women try to threaten me and say like, "Oh, I'm gonna go fuck this other guy," and I like at the point that they said that, I was so tired of dealing with them and dealing with their shit. I'm just like, I don't even care at this point. Like you cannot threaten me with telling me you're gonna go fuck some other guy. I'm like, I don't care. Let him deal with it. Once I realized that dealing with you was taken away from my peace, I don't care if you fuck the whole city. I don't care if you get a train ran on you. I don't care if you have a gangbang, you have a sexual orgy, because I already know that you have no value in the kind of relationship that I want, desire, and need. So at that point, I don't care. Like it's just like at one point I may have cared, I may have worried about it, but like at the point when I realized that you cannot do anything for me with what I look for in a woman, like you don't have the ability to even meet those standards. You can't even you can't do it. You physically can't do it. It's not in you to be that kind of woman. You will never be that kind of woman that I want or need or even look for. I'm just like, okay. Like you can't miss something that you never had, or you realize that that person had never had the ability to give you. This is why I still desire a kind of relationship, but I don't miss it, because I realize that most women today, they don't have the ability to even be that to a man. They forgot what it even means to be a woman to a man in a relation. They don't even know what it means anymore. It's completely just, they've lost that concept of what men even like or appreciate about women, because women are selfish today. They have no level of empathy when it comes to women don't even know what it even means to be feminine in a relationship anymore. They think that that is controlling. They think that it's weak, and it's like the whole point why a man would want you is because you're feminine. And women, they have no clue what it even means to be like that. They think that a man is trying to be controlling when he says that I like feminine women. Like, no, like that's what women are supposed to be, is feminine. If they weren't that, then you would basically just be a man in a wig with boobs. There is a difference in how men and women act. If there is no difference in how men and women act, then is there really even a difference between men and women? Yes, you have different body parts, but like there's a way that there's a difference. And women don't understand that. They act like, because men like women that act like women, like we're trying to like demean them or like put them in some lower place in society. I'm like, no, it's just there's men and then there's women. Men act like men and women act like women. There's two sexes. Sexes don't act the same. And that's such like women act like we're trying to put them in some lower state. I'm just like, no, being a woman, a real woman, is a very powerful thing. Why do y'all think that's weak? Like truly feminine women have so much power over men in their feminine essence. Like, it's not weak to be a woman. It's a very powerful thing. Like, it's something that a man could never pretend to be. And for some reason, women have been brainwashed into believing that being feminine is like this lowly thing, or men just want to like make them be lesser than them. And it's just like, no, men hold truly feminine women in such a high regard. Like, that is crazy. Seriously. But again, like, we've gotten so brainwashed into believing that a woman that isn't always in her masculine energy is weak, or she's needy, or she's a pick me. It's like, no, a feminine woman is one of the most beautiful things in creation a man can ever experience. And men know this. But for whatever reason, it's just it's lost. Like, that's a very basic thing, but like, again, it's lost. It's lost. It's lost. We've lost that understanding. Or women have lost that because women they're so focused on trying to compete with men and trying to prove that they're just as good as men, they're just as strong as men, that men aren't stronger than them. It's become like this competition thing. Women have become so they've become so obsessed with trying to prove that they're just as good as men or just as strong as men, that they've completely forgotten what it even means to be a woman. And men are just like, why are y'all trying to compete with us? We're not trying to compete with y'all. When did this become about when did being a man versus a woman become a competition? Who put this shit in y'all head? Like, who's telling y'all this shit? It's this damn feminist thing. Women swear that men are trying to like make them beneath them, and it's like, who? But somewhere on the way, it turned into this, oh, we got to prove that we're just as strong as men. And don't get me wrong, there's some men that do have a little bit extreme view where they do kind of try to put women beneath them. But my views are, women are not beneath me. I just understand that women are not men. Like, I don't confuse the difference. I'm not saying that women can't do some of the. I'm not saying that women can't do some of the same things that men. I understand that women are very capable. I'm not saying that women's main job is to just strictly cook and clean. Like, no, I believe that men can help out in the house as well too. Typically, like, that's just what women do when men, handle like other stuff like that, like just stuff that requires a little bit more, I don't know, like grit, or just getting your hands dirty, or just, more heavy lifting. Typically, generally, but not all the time. There are exceptions. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that things have to be like just strictly like that. It can be different too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not overly old fashioned. So, you know, but anyway, I'm about to get off here and end this, and then I will, I guess, do it again next time, I guess. I've been on here like way too long. So until next time, later. If I can end it, how do you end it? Let's see. Mm, where's the stop button? Uh, Okay. Start a poll. No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to stop it. Why is it like, I don't know. Sorry, y'all. There should be just a regular stop button, but it's not. Uh, Start poll? No. I guess I'm going to just end it, I guess, or just back out because I'm not seeing how to, where there's like a stop button. I guess you just like back out, I guess. I don't know. I'm guessing.